So hello everyone, and I Naresh Patil welcome you all once again to the today's session over the design of gantry girder. So I have left with the last part, that is the connection details. We are finished with the design of gantry girder. Only we have left with the connection part. Okay, so if you provide welded connection and if you provide bolted connection, so we are going to discuss about the connection part here. So as you know that the gantry girder is like a composite section, is a section composed with eye section and channel section. So we need to provide the connection between the channel section as well as the eye section, because the crane girder will be moving over the crane girder. What you can see here, the crane girder will be moving over the gantry girder, so we have to provide the connection details here. Okay, so let us start with the connection details over the gantry girder. Okay, so what I am trying to say here, so we have the channel section and we have the eye section. Okay, so the channel section resting over the eye section, so we need to provide the connection details between these two. Okay, so if you are providing welding, so we should be provide the weld, okay, according to the forces acting over the gantry girder. And if you are providing the bolting, we need to provide the bolting here. Okay, so we are going to discuss about that. Okay, yes, we can see here. So first we are going to begin with the welded connection. Okay, so in design of connection we are going to discuss about first of all, that is welded connection. Okay, so you can see here the welding is provided here between the channel section and eye section. So the welding will be like this, okay, throughout the length of the gantry girder. So welding should be done here between these two. Okay, and we are going to check what should be the minimum size of the weld or the thickness of the weld required for making the connection between the eye section and the channel section. Okay, so we are going to calculate this. Okay, what should be the thickness of the weld, that is nothing but the size of the weld required to make the connection between these two. Okay, so we should have this detailing part. Okay, now we'll begin with that. Okay, so welded connection. So first of all, you have to find out the shear stress, developed at the junction, and which is given by, okay, the shear stress developed at the junction means, so we have the eye section like this, the top flange of eye section, and over that we have the channel section, like this. We have provided channel section like this, correct? So we are going to discuss what is the shear stress developed at the junction, okay, at the connection of the eye section and channel section, which is given by the formula. So here the shear stress, developed at the junction we are going to find out, and which is given by the formula Q is equal to VA Y bar upon I. So that is IZZ. Okay, VA Y bar upon IZZ. So here, the V is nothing but the shear force. So that is the maximum shear force. Already we have calculated the maximum shear force. Okay, which is given by 515. It is how much? 15.8 kilonewton. We have calculated this already. Okay, in the previous calculation, if you go back and check, we have already calculated the shear force, that is 515.8 kilonewton. We have got 515.8 kilonewton. Then next, the area, we have to consider the area of channel. Okay, because channel is resting on the eye section, and channel will develop the maximum, channel will offer the pressure from the wheels. Okay, so that is area we have to consider 4564 mm square. So this area is nothing but area of channel. You have to consider area of channel. Then we have Y bar. Okay, next is y bar. So for y bar, it is given by, that is for top section. Okay, y bar is 600 minus 364.21. This already we have calculated. 364.21, that is y bar b. We'll get it. Okay, so this is nothing but 235.19 mm. I'll show you that where we have calculated. Okay, yes, now you can see here. So this is y bar b. Now I want from this, so this distance I want. So total is 600 minus this we have to do, minus this. So 364.21. Same thing I have did here. Total 600 minus this means I'll get this distance y bar, because this part is under stress. This part is under stress. So we should have this distance. Okay. So that is 600 minus 364.21. Okay. Same thing I have done here. 600 minus 364.21. Okay. So we got this. Then Z. I think it is VA y bar upon Z it is. Okay. IZ. Okay. So that is 1.209. This is also we have already calculated. Into 10 to 9 mm raised to 4. Understood? Then after substituting everything here, Q is equal to, after substituting in this formula, we get, so I'll substitute here, V is 515.8 into 10 to 3 to make it in Newton, into area 4564 into the y bar is 235.19 divided by I, so that is 1.209 into 10 to 9. Okay, so we get here the Q, the shear stress in the junction. We get here it is 459.09 mm, Newton per mm. So this is the shear stress developed in the junction, that is for per mm. For the per mm length of connection, we got 459.09 Newton per mm. Okay. Now we have to find out the strength of weld per mm again. We have to find out the strength of weld. So here next is, because we have to equate this to our strength of weld. So strength of weld is given by AW into FU by root 3 into gamma MW. Okay, which is given by, here again AW is nothing but area of weld. So area of weld is effective throat thickness. So here we have to take, so here I'll consider for per mm 0.7 into S. Okay, because it is T is 0.7 into S into AWC for per mm into 0.7 into S. This is S. Okay, into FU is 410 divided by root 3 into gamma MW. So on it is on shop welding, so I'll take it as 1.25, 0.1 into 0.7 S per mm length, LW into TE. So this is nothing but LW into TE. LW into TE. Length of weld into throat thickness, 0.7 into S into FU 410 divided by root 3 into gamma MW. Okay, so this will get it as, the strength of weld is 265 Newton per mm. Correct? So this we have what I can write as 1, this is as 2. So this is the strength of weld, 265 Newton per mm. Now what you have to do? You have to equate these two. So this is the strength of weld per mm, and this is a stress or the force developed per mm. So if you equate this, you will get the size of weld. Okay. So now by equating, we get S we get S is equal to 1.73 mm. So nothing but I'll consider 3 mm weld, 3 mm size of weld. Okay, so understood now. So we required, like, that is the minimum size of weld is 3 mm. Okay, we have to provide the minimum size of weld of 3 mm. We got 1.73 mm. So but we have to provide 3 mm size of weld. Okay, so if you show here, it will be like this. Okay, so here what you got, the 3 mm weld. So we have to provide the throughout the length of the member. Okay, this way 3 mm on both the sides, because here one thing what you have to do, you have to multiply into 2 here. Okay, I forgot to tell you that here we need to multiply 2 times, because we are providing welding on both the sides like this. Okay, like this here. Okay, so that's why I have to multiply into 2. I forgot to tell you that, so please make a correction there. So we have to multiply into 2 because we are providing welding on both the sides, and that will be provided, means what, the 3 mm size of weld will be provided to connect the channel section and eye section throughout the length of the member. So that this is regarding the welded connection. Okay, now we will discuss about the bolted connection. Okay, next is regarding bolted connection. Now you can see here in the cross section elevation, you can see we need to provide bolts like this to connect the bolts between the top flange of eye section and the channel section. Okay, and this is in longitudinal section. Okay, now our aim is we have to find out what is the pitch distance between the bolts by assuming the bolt diameter. Okay, for that particular diameter, what should be the pitch distance we need to provide, means what should be the center to center distance between the bolts we need to provide for the particular diameter of the bolt, Okay, this is in plan, you can see. If you look from the top, we can see like this. So this is nothing but pitch distance, the distance between the 2 bolts, like this. What should be the distance between the 2 bolts we need to provide, okay, for particular diameter of bolt. We have to assume that diameter of bolt, and for that diameter the pitch will we have to find out the pitch distance. Okay, so we'll proceed with that. Okay, so here now assuming two bolts of size M18 of grade 4.6 in one row. In single row we have to provide 2 bolts, which is shown in the figure. So here what you can see, I'll show it once again. Yes, here. So one row of bolt. In one row we are going to provide 2 bolts, not more than that. 2 bolts in one row. Next row again 2 bolts. Next row again 2 bolts, like this. Okay, so that's why it is given as in the figure. Now assuming 2 bolts of size M18 of grade 4.6 in 2 rows. Okay, so therefore you have to find out the shear capacity of bolt. Because it will be subjected to shear. So for that again we have formula VNSB is equal to FU by root 3 into NN into A and B, because we are not assuming shank portion, we are assuming only threaded part. So 400 divided by root 3 into NN, number of shear planes are only one, because if you see here the eye section is like this, and over that we have the channel section, okay, like this, and we are coding bolt here, means there is only one shear plane. Okay, only one shear plane. You can see there is only one shear plane here. Okay, only one shear plane. So that's why N. is 1 into 0.78 into pi by 4, diameter is 18 square, into 2. Why it is into 2? Because in single row 2 bolts we are providing, in single row we are providing 2 bolts, so that's why into 2. Okay, so we get here the shear capacity is VNSP is 91.67 kilonewton. Again, by considering the factor of safety, 91.67 divided by gamma mb you have to consider, so that is 1.25. Gamma mb is 1.25. It will be equal to 73.34 kilonewton. Okay, so the strength of a bolt is 73.34 kilonewton. Then here next also force to be resisted by bolts, force to be resisted by bolts at junction. Force to be resisted by bolts at junction is equal to shear stress, which is already calculated, shear stress at junction, shear stress at junction into pitch distance into pitch distance. Okay, shear stress at junctions into pitch distance. Okay, so then here we already got the shear stress at junction is 459.1 into pitch. So I'll call it as this as equation number 2, like this will be 1. Now what you have to do again, equate 1 and 2. So this is a shear strength of single bolt and this is shear developed. So into pitch you have to multiply. Okay, so this by equating 1 and 2 again, so we get pitch is equal to 159.71 mm. So I'll consider 150 mm center to center. Okay, so what does that mean? This is very important here, please concentrate. So by assuming two bolts of 18 mm diameter, 2 bolts of 18 mm diameter in single row, okay, the bolt can resist, those bolts can resist a shear of 734.34 kilonewton, but shear developed here it is 459.19. So by equating these two, we get the distance between the two bolts is 150 mm center to center. So that is here nothing but, I'll explain in better way. So here this distance between the bolts is, the pitch is, we got 150 mm center to center. We have to provide the bolt row, that is 2 bolts in a single row. Again next line again here 2 bolts in single row, and the distance between that it is 150 mm center to center throughout the length of the gantry gutter. It is like throughout the length of the gantry gutter. Okay, so this is regarding the connection part in design of gantry gutter. And regarding this, again if you get any queries, you can contact me or you can write it over comment box. Over. Thank you very much.